Hello, welcome to a new video, new lesson of the New Earth School, the school you need to attend to if you want to come to New Earth, the one that we all secretly desire deep down inside, dream about, since we came into existence, at least I did. I know every sane person does, but people are too covered with fear, and because of that, unconscious to their true desires. I don't want to force my desires onto you because I even can't, right? But I know that any sane person, a resolved person, a fearless person, a powerful, resilient person wants to have peace in life, wants for things to be resolved, because we are much more connected than some people realize. For instance, we still live in a world where people think, I can see my neighbors and also people in the world through the internet, I still see people thinking that we can just forget or mind our own business and think that everybody can just live their own way of living, and in a way they believe that we don't influence each other, or we don't influence each other, when we do, right? We do with everything. We are much more connected. We're together here on the planet, and some people are still so unconscious that they think that they can just live their life their own way, and that it's okay like that. People are very egotistical, narcissistic, selfish, right? Three different words, but same behavior from people. And this kind of people truly believe that they can just go on living the way they are used to, and that their behavior doesn't affect others, when it does, right? Just because of this kind of people, we are all suffering on this planet. And we all know that everything that's happening on this planet, it is also represented in our family and in our neighborhood, right? Wherever you go, everything that's happening in macrocosm in the world, it's happening in microcosm. In your family, in your home, with your spouse, with your children, with your neighbors. It doesn't matter. So when we speak that we are fighting the deep state, the destructive people, we are actually at the same time fighting the destructive people in our neighborhood. Like, it's not that we just need to somehow win the battle over deep state and think that everything else will be resolved, right? The people that force destruction, like the deep state, do the same damage to the planet that a destructive neighbor does, right? And so, or a destructive person in your family does, right? So it's not about just winning the war on deep state, but actually winning every war with every person, with every community, in every unit of life, in every part of life. So what does this even mean? What does this even mean? So what does it mean to win this kind of relationship when you have a destructive relationship? So we are having a relationship with a deep state, and we are having a relationship with a destructive neighbor or a family member, right? And so how to win this relationship war, how to win it? And as I have already explained it in my previous videos, there is a way. There is a way. There is a way, and many more embodied people that are more grounded, more embodied people are more grounded, already know this, already sense that this is the way, but maybe they are still lost enough, and because of that they don't reach their full purification of fear to realize their own worth, to recognize their own power, to truly know themselves and be clear with what they want, what they tolerate, and what they don't want to tolerate anymore in their lives, right? Because only an unworthy person tolerates unworthiness, right? For instance, you can say 10,000 times in the mirror, repeat affirmations or mantras, whatever you do. You can try to brainwash yourself that you deserve the best, but it doesn't really help you if you're still behaving unworthy from unworthiness or tolerating some kind of destructive behavior in your relationships, right? So, how to win this destructive relationship war? It doesn't matter with who, because we are all in some kind of destructive relationship, right? I was my whole life. And so I would just like to share with you the recipe of how to win that. And so, as I already mentioned in the previous videos, I explained this recipe. It's called the path to enlightenment. I know the word enlightenment, maybe you don't like it. It sounds too far-fetched, too out of reach for you, maybe. Maybe you think this is some kind of spiritual thing that it's not for you, but it's actually the most grounded thing ever. Enlightenment, it just means to shed light onto some things in your life so you can become aware of them. And once you are aware of something, you can be clear. For the first time in your life, you stand your ground and you can choose what are you going to do with it. Are you still going to tolerate it, or are you going to abandon it from your life and face life as it is after that, after this abandoning of some kind of destruction from your life, right? When you leave destruction that you were used to or attached, dependent on, behind, there are some consequences, right? And many people are afraid to face those consequences because it's risking what you know, right? It is you embarking on the journey of the unknown. And who likes to risk their comfort, right? Nobody. It's normal, I get it. But without risking our comfort, which is actually destructive, we don't live in a comfort where everything is resolved, right? We live in such a comfort that's actually a destructive comfort. As I already mentioned, the point of this video and why everything is so fucked up on this planet is because we tolerate destructive relationships, as with this deep state and as with our neighbor, for instance, or a family member, right? So the point is to leave this kind of relationships behind, right? That's the point. The point is not to manipulate and project on the other, but it is actually to resolve yourself, because this is the only thing you can do. The only thing you can do, the only authority you truly have is of yourself, right? This is the only thing you can truly change. Man in the Mirror, right? If you don't know Michael Jackson's song, check it out. Man in the Mirror. This is the only one you can change. And be an example of that. An embodiment of the change, right? Because people learn from behavior, from embodiment, from repeating how others behave, right? Like when you were a child, you didn't listen to what your parents said. You copied their behavior. So maybe they said something good, but they then did something bad, and you remember what they did, not what they said, right? So we copy our behavior. So the best thing is not to preach how to be the perfect or resolved human being, but to be it, to embody it in such a holistic way where you can't be caught anymore not being that change. So the point is to truly achieve a holistic change. So on all levels of life, on the energetic level, which dictates all of other levels of life, so it becomes your way of being, the least resistance, spontaneous way of being, where you, without performing and without trying, become an example of sovereignty, of fearlessness, freedom, embodiment, right? Of a full spectrum human being. Humanness. So this is how you can win this kind of wars. Relationship destructive wars. So when you start finally, when you decide finally in your life that you have enough of suffering and pain and misery in your life and you want to change, then you make a choice. You make a choice. Are you going to start step by step leaving everything that's negative, destructive behind you in life and face life as it is, the new unknown life as it is presented, in order to get accustomed to the new unknown life, to the new unknown you, right? So are you willing to leave everything that's burdening you behind? Are you ready to leave that burdening comfort behind? Are you ready to risk your burdening comfort for the unknown new life? And just to give you a hunch, what you are to expect from the new unknown life, if you're leaving the bad behind, you can only expect the good, right? You can't get into a worse position. You will only get maybe not into the best position so fast, but you will get into a better position if you leave the bad behind, right? And so how to leave the bad behind? how to leave the bad behind. You don't construct the new life from the mind, how you think life should be, and plan it out, because this is impossible. Have you ever tried to plan something in your life, and then when you're facing in experience that thing that you have planned out, you see that it never goes according to plan? Maybe some things you can plan out, but 90% of life, it always goes the other direction that you have planned. So planning can be a good thing, but then life always shows that it demands actually spontaneity, that you cannot plan life because we don't know what will be. We don't know what will be, how life will unfold. We don't know. And so planning, okay, it's okay, plan so you are most prepared, but don't use it as a crutch, as a control mechanism because you're so afraid. Because from that position, you're actually being afraid, trying to have control, so much control, because you're afraid, because you're too weak to face life as it is. And so you are already in a weak state. And so now, trying to change yourself from the same state of fear, you will just manifest the same life. Maybe it will look different, but it will still be a burdening, comfortable life. It will maybe just look different. So what we need to do, because we don't know how life will unfold and what we truly need to face in life, because all these people of the world that do spirituality and psychology and therapy and philosophy and all these books and all this knowledge, what good it truly is. Like people still don't know how to live on this planet. People still don't know. People brag about reading 4 books a month, but they are still not fully human. They still don't know how to live. They still are not powerful, sovereign, depending on their own guidance, on God, right? They still live from some kind of illusion of trying to have control over life because they are subconsciously or consciously still afraid to face life as it is because they deep down inside know that they are not strong enough to face it. Because a powerful person doesn't mind how the world unfolds, because a powerful person is relaxed because it knows that it can face whatever life throws at him, right? And so the point is to get powerful. The point is to get powerful. The point is to be resilient. If you're powerful, you're resilient. And being resilient means I can handle life. Not in a sense where I perform being cold-blooded and surviving. I can do it, prove to everybody that you're so hard. Like right now, people think that they are strong because they are totally closed from life and looking tough. I don't mean like that. I mean being resilient from a relaxed state where you truly are actually open to life. You are still open. You are facing life as it is. You can be in the present moment and be relaxed and satisfied with what is on all levels of life, truly on the energetic level. Be satisfied with it. And how does resilience look like? Resilience looks like this. What does it mean to be present? What does it mean to be one with the moment? It means not you being cold or whole bracing yourself, not. It means whatever comes, I'm capable of immediately be one with it. So whatever the moment demands, life, God demands from me to be felt, to be lived, experienced, embodied, whatever it demands from me, because God is giving us life, right? I'm not giving life to myself, and I'm not giving life to you. So there is God that's giving us life. We didn't create this. And we are here, right? Just these few words are the proof of God. And so God is giving us life every step of every second of the way. And so we following on that life energy that we are receiving, which means you follow, you embody, you act on what's most alive, what's most genuine in the moment for you. You acting on that, it's you acting on God, it's you following God, it's you following and being one with the moment, being one with God, being one with your own energy and being present. So, and being responsible, having an ability to respond to the present energy. What's present, what's here, right? And it is also a present because it's something new, right? A gift. And so the openness, the ability to be like this, to be one with the moment as it is, as soon as it arrives, being fully one with it. And if you have truly been fully one with it as soon as it arrives, without any resistance, then it will also at some point leave this moment and the new moment will arrive, right? Because the only constant in this life is change, right? It's a paradox. The only constant is change. So there is always a different next moment, right? There is no repetition in this life. God is a truly genius, right? It constantly creates something new. There is no repetition in life. There will never be the same moment as it is right now. The next moment and the next and the next and the next until you die, it will never be repeated. And so if you're truly without resistance, because you're truly open, because you're powerful enough to face life as it is, if you truly are open and powerful, you will become resilient where you can accept every moment as it is, feel it, experience it, embody it fully. And because you're doing that, you're being in flow with it, with life. And then whatever comes, you're being one with it. So this moment is presented to you, you're fully being one with it, whatever shows up, however it is presented to you, if you're fully being one with it immediately. And because you're fully being one with it, it will stay with you for as much as it was intended for you to experience it, because some moments are longer and some moments are shorter. And when they pass, the new moment will come. And this is how it is life, right? So life it's about being in flow with it. And so only if you are in flow with life, if you are unprepared, if you are not controlling and projecting how life should be from your weak state, only if you're being unprepared, spontaneous, and so guided by the most genuine, alive energy that's present in you, guided from that, what you truly desire, only if you are acting on that, if you are being guided in life by that, only if you are living in this way, I forgot what I wanted to say, but this is the way where you start to leave the old world behind and start living the one life that's not based from your victim, weak, fearful, trying to control mind type of way, but it is being constructed by God for you. The one unknown life that's built not from following fear, but from following life, right? If you're constantly choosing what's most alive in you and following that, you will manifest a wholesome life, right? How can you manifest a wholesome life if you are depending on the current, if you are being attached, if you're attaching to the current, burdening, comfortable life? You're going to manifest the same thing. And so this is a foolproof, a bulletproof way of manifesting the life that it's so good for you that you cannot even think about it and plan it and comprehend it, because it is being manifested for you by God. He's in heaven, he's in heaven, she is in heaven. And so through that, you following him, it is manifested for you your heavenly life, right? You have two choices in life. Either Satan manifests your life by you believing in fear and following the fear, so the life of burden and hell, or you follow what's most alive. You follow the one that's giving you life, that's guiding you through what's most alive in you. You are being guided by the one that created heaven, and it's even allowing hell to exist, right? Such a big power, because Satan can only dictate the hell, but God dictates everything. So who do you want to be guided? Do you want to be guided by fear, or do you want to be guided by love? By God. I wanted to say God, but love came automatically out of me. Why do people say love? Love, people think that love is a feeling. Love is not a feeling. Love is not some passing feeling. Love is a state of openness. I have been explaining this already in my elementary school, but nobody understood me. And maybe not even me was fully realizing what I was speaking about, because all these things, all this wisdom truly needs to be tested in life by losing it and recognizing what you had, and then getting it back, so you know the full process of how it works. Because only if you lose it and then you gain it back, you know how the whole process works, and you then have this experience of cherishing it because you have lost it and you have learned the worth of it. And at the same time, because you lost it and now you get it back, you know the process and you can explain it to others. You know the word and the way. In this life, it's pretty astonishing, even though all this shit is happening and all this fucked upness, it's happening in the world. And so, love, it's a state of openness. It's a state of acceptance. It's not a passing feeling. Oh, I love you a little bit right now. It's not like this. Love is a state of openness. Are you open to the present moment? But open, I have to reaffirm, or how do I say it in English? I need to if you say only being open doesn't mean a lot, because people already think now that they are open, but they are not. You really need to be fully open to the present moment. Are you fully open to the next moment, to this moment, and to the every next moment that's being presented to you? If you're truly being open, you're automatically, through this energetic, intuitive, spontaneous, God-leading way of being, you're being faced with your fears. And when you face your fears, you can only face your fears by being unprepared and spontaneous, because if you know what's to happen, you're already a little bit prepared for the next moment and for the fear that may arise. And so when you're prepared for fear, you don't experience it fully like you would if you were unprepared, right? If you are unprepared and you go around the corner and something scares you, you will be totally scared. But if you know that there is something scary around the corner, you will not be scared as much, right? So life, if you want to truly fully meet it, because life is about facing our own fears, of our own expression, of the fear of being guided by God, the fear of being guided by life, the fear of being guided by love, the fear of being guided by our own intuition, the fear of being guided by our truth, the fear of being guided from our deepest desires. So this is what is holding us in a crutch, in a tight, burdening hold, right? This is the only thing, the fear of following our power so we can manifest it, right? Because manifestation is just, you have to live truly and fully what you want to see in the world. You cannot think it and plan it out. You need to be like that, right? And so only if you are unprepared and spontaneous, you can fully face these fears. Because if you're trying to control and predict what it's about to happen, plan it out, you're constantly trying to take, and you do take away, this fully facing of the fear in the next moment, because you're trying to prepare for it. And if you're trying to prepare for it, you are taking away the full facing of the fear in the next moment. And because of that, you never fully face it, and you never fully meet the moment as it is, and you never truly test your resilience. You never truly test your power and achieve this resilience and this openness, where you can then finally, from a place of resilience and power, be open for life and resolve your resistance to it. How will you resolve your resistance to the fearful potential next moment if you are not fully facing that fear in the next moment? It's impossible. This is why I don't recall in my childhood people speaking about God. I don't come from a religious family. We were all atheists. We didn't believe in God. The people that went to church and religion are like the weirdos when I was a child. The brainwashed people because they believe in God, right? But right now, if you look at it, there is more and more and more people speaking about God. Speaking about God. There is, and even the younger generations. When I was young, the younger generations didn't truly believe in God. They believed in God because their family believed in God. Like when we were together, the children didn't speak about God, but now young people choose God even if their families are not religious. So we have this innate desire, feeling, knowing that there is a higher power that's protecting us, providing for us, created us, creating for us, and that we can depend on. But because I like to go a step further, I don't like to just be a believer in some kind of scripture or a follower of some kind of priest, because it is sensible to follow only somebody that is fully or almost fully resolved. And many people in this world are not resolved from their own destructiveness, unconsciousness, from their dissociation of life force, from the fear of following truly themselves, truly God, on the energetic level, right? People are not on that level, but they preach these things. And so this is deceiving people, right? Blind following the blind or blind leading the blind. And I don't like that. I like to go a step further. That's why I created this school, because I think we are in the age of knowing and not believing anymore. And we are not in the age of thinking about God, but experiencing it, right? And so if God created all of this because we didn't, then you being one with life, you're being one with God, right? If your experience of life is being created right now, because it is giving you life. God is giving you right now life. It can take it away anytime, but it is giving it to you. So it is creating your own individual experience. So you being fully one with your present moment, with your individual experience, not just on the mind, the way in the wishful thinking, what you would like it to be, but truly on the energetic level, be present in it by feeling, being, thinking, expressing, embodying fully what is. This is what it truly means to be one with God, and be like this constantly until you die. This is what it means to open your heart, to live in this state of love, in the state where you are constantly accepting what is the highest power, where you're constantly accepting what's most genuine, so you can even accept the fear, and by accepting it fully, feeling it fully, embodying it fully, being resilient enough to face whatever comes. And we all can agree that this is a sign of power. And because you are a child of God, you are powerful. But that power is not being experienced and tested because you're living in fear. So you need to test it to recognize the word. You need to be tested in order to recognize your word. You have already lost it. So there is already a good thing because you have lost it. But now you have to gain it back. And when you gain it back, you will cherish it so much more because you have lost it at some point in your childhood. And now you have gained it back. And because So now you will cherish it. You will not have to practice gratitude and be thankful with the words in a wishful thinking and writing down 10 times why you're grateful in life, but you will truly be grateful. On the holistic level, you will be grateful spontaneously without anybody needing to help you remember. You will be grateful because you are again pure as you were when you were very small. Maybe you don't even remember those times from your early childhood when you were pure. And you can gain that purity back. And not just that. So you spontaneously live in gratitude because of that, without needing somebody to help you remember it or to practice it and perform it. It is spontaneous. It is a given. You know your worth. And you know the way because you have lost it and you have gained it, and you can guide now others. It's a beautiful thing. I remember myself when I came to this earth. I remember I came really pure. I don't know if I was fully pure or fully natural, but I can remember that I was very strong. I will say that I feel like I was pure and natural and spontaneous. I remember being fearless. And I remember without anybody teaching me, because there were no such people in my vicinity, my presence, my family. There were no such people because they were all already conditioned adults. And at that point, I didn't watch any movies. I'm now speaking about like 5 years old, 6 years old, or something like this, or just when I was in kindergarten, not even in school yet. I remember, without having any example of that, not from parents, not from movies, I can remember that I was behaving like a hero. I remember I always have this memory with me. There was one girl in my kindergarten that was being bullied by a group of children. And I remember seeing that. I will never forget this memory. I remember, but for me it was a spontaneous thing. It was a totally spontaneous thing. It was a calling. It was truly a calling of the moment. I didn't even think about it. It just happened, and I never took it as I never took that act as some. I never wore it as a badge to show off or whatever. I always just had it. Oh my God, I did that. Like, not even that. I just had it. It stayed with me. I remember a girl. I was in class and a girl was running away fearfully from a group of children, and I saw that, and I just left whatever I was doing and I started sprinting just behind her. So there was she running away, there was a group of children hunting her, truly, and bullying her. And then there was me. I already intersected the whole situation. I saw it. I speeded up, accelerated like crazy, sprinted, was running behind her, and she ran into a dead end, into a dead alley. And she had no way to escape. She was fearful. And I stood in front of her. So it was her. Then I came. And I just stood in front of her with my arms like this. She was behind me. I was like this. I was a child. Nobody taught me this. And I didn't saw it anywhere. I stood like this. And then I think 3 children came that were trying to bully her. And I said, if you're going to do something to her, you have to go over me. That was, my God, like, I was just like this. If you want to do something to her, you have to go over me. And they just stood, they just watched for a few seconds, and then they ran away. They got afraid of me just standing my ground. My God, how powerful was I? I wasn't aggressive. I didn't want to fight. I didn't scream. I was just standing my ground. Unshakably. I was being unshakable. Unwavering. And they left because the demons, the Satan through people, they can only manipulate. They truly don't have power. Satan truly doesn't have power. The blind people give it power, but it actually doesn't have power when there is a sovereign, fearless being guided by God, having God by their side, by being one with what's demanded from you in the moment. Nobody can fuck with you. And I was a child, and they were 3 of them, right? They could fuck me up. But I just stood my ground, not even wanting to fight. They were just looking for a few seconds, and they left. And I didn't even talk to the girl. I don't remember. I just left also. The situation was resolved. There was no needing to show off or look at me, how great I was, how are you, whatever. The situation was resolved. I remember then in life that this girl was bullied. Still in her life. I felt sorry for her. But I remember that then, later in life, when the conditioning of this world, of the fearful chicken world, destructive people that are being guided by demons, which was then inflicted upon me, I started to behave in the same manner. I didn't protect her anymore. I remember I just stood and watched her being bullied when we were teenagers, right? So I know that from experience, not being taught by anybody, not seeing that anywhere in my life, I know that our naturality, that power is our naturality. That's why I preach about power, not because I want to force it upon you, because I know it's our natural state. It comes in a package as a side effect of you being with God, right? It's logical. If you're being one with the Creator, following it by being in flow with life, unprepared and spontaneous and guided intuitively by it, by God, by the Creator, by the life force present in the moment, you're being guided by power. So then you will act powerfully. And I remember myself being like that. But then heavy conditioning, heavy control, and lots of fear and abuse came into my life. And then I lost that and became like a passive robot, having as default mechanism the constant ignoring of my truest desire. It's not like you're being blocked 100% or whatever, right? Because there are beautiful moments still in life, no matter what happens, no matter how shitty it is. But we all experience so much resistance to our own, to being guided by our own power, by our own truth, enough, resistant enough to it, that we become destructive. We behave destructively from fear, from the need, from unworthiness, so then the need of trying to prove our worth. This is why people compete in the negative sense, where they compete and try to prove and try to gain validation from others because they are not being validated, confirmed by their own power, by their own worth and knowing of themselves. And you now being in this repressed state, not just being like that, but even having negative entities, real ghosts, negative demons attaching to the repressed life force, because you're not manifesting it, because you're living in fear, having that as food for true, literal negative ghosts that are whispering in your mind and influencing you how to be and how to behave. And maybe now, because this is so long with you already, they speak through your voice in the head, right? They don't have a different voice. Maybe for some, I don't know. But as far as I have experienced and know it, is that they use your own voice. And because you are already for a long time with this voice, with these parts of your mind, you take it for yourself. You identify with it. You think this is you. But a sane person doesn't behave destructively. A sane person, a powerful person, would live spontaneously. Because of that, as I have already proven it, so because of you living in power, you being sane, being powerful, you live spontaneously, because a powerful person doesn't need to prepare for the next moment. You live spontaneously. Only if you live spontaneously and unprepared, you can be faced with full life as it is. Only in this way you can fully face a full fear, all of it, from your system, from the traumas of your life. Even if they come from past lives, it don't matter. Because life demands full spectrumness from you, and so you will be tested in it. And by being one with it when it arrives, you will be faced with those parts that you consciously or unconsciously have feared your whole life. So you being spontaneous, you resolve the conscious and the unconscious parts of yourselves. You don't need some kind of hypnotherapist or go into the past lives. It's already all here. Just devote yourself to God. He is your therapist. The one that can truly fix it. For good, sustainably, lastingly. Because you can truly only face all of these things directly in life, not aside from life in some kind of method. I have never known a person that have done psychology, therapy, spirituality, or whatever, ayahuascas or mushrooms or whatever in this life, and that through the method, through the technique, through the substance, they have resolved themselves fully. Never. And I tried many of those things. And the only thing that worked is this, what I'm preaching here. Is the only thing. That's why I made school about it. So only in this way you can face yourself and become whole, powerful again, as you were. So God is the therapist. And living in this way, is it what truly means to be spiritual? Because spiritual just means the spirit embodied. So the spirit that's fully human. This is what spiritual means. And if you're not that, if you're not a spirit capable of being a full spectrum human, when life demands it from you, if you're not capable of being that, you're not being spiritual truly. Even if you have capabilities of looking into the future and into the past lives and teleporting yourself or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you can fly and levitate, but if you can't be fully human, when life demands from you, you're not being one with God. And if you're not being one with God, you're still in some parts contributing to the war on life. You're still contributing to the destructive relationships and still maintaining them and keeping them alive. Because then there is still a part of you in yourself that's unworthy, and because of that, you conscious or unconscious of that, you can affirm yourself 10,000 times that you're worthy, but because on the energetic level, on the holistic level, you're still unworthy. There are still some parts of you that are fearful. You are aware or not, don't matter. Because of that, you're fearful, you're unworthy, and you tolerate this in life. And you tolerate this kind of behavior and relationships. And so this is the only change, this is the only path you need to take, start living, in order to manifest what you came here to manifest, heaven, right? Let's resolve it. Let's leave the old world behind. Let's see it crumble. In the meantime, do what I say here, not because I say, but test it and prove it to yourself. And then come back to me and say it works or it doesn't work. First, test it fully with the intention to work. Test it fully with the intention to work. And then, when you have given it all you got, come back to me and say if it works or not. or if there is a better way. If there is a better way, I will forget what I speak and learn your way. But this is not my way. This is life's way. This is God's way. Let's manifest the new world, the one where the weak are protected, society, the world, animals, plants, everybody is protected, being treated with respect, with the recognition that there is also life in other things aside you. Let's clean up this mess. But we only can do all these things if we unite through the whole thing that I have just explained. By you coming into power, because power automatically recognizes power. Birds of a feather fly together. Powerful beings, they recognize themselves as brothers and sisters. They unite as a family and defeat Satan and his army. Just by doing what I said here, by becoming a sovereign character of a person, physically not tolerating destructiveness, by you eliminating destructiveness from you, the way I have just explained through all of this video, and at the same time, on the unseen level, allowing the demonic army to perish by not giving them the food anymore, because now you're using this food that God has given to you to use, which is your life force, right? By being guided by it. Be guided by your life force. I feel like I wanted to speak about something also, but it doesn't come. Oh, it came. What I wanted to say is that in the meantime of following life, being in flow with it, don't forget to still take prevention measures, right? Like safety measures. And what are those? One of the biggest ones, in my view, is fasting, because we're being poisoned through every medium of life. We are being poisoned. And so fasting truly is good. This technology of body works the best when it is fasting. It can regenerate from so many things. I've had 3 autoimmune diseases. I've received 35 vaccinations in my life. And because from repressed energy, life force, and receiving 35 vaccinations throughout my life, 35, pretty fucked up, repression, 35 vaccinations from pharmacy, from health organization, and all the poison from food, air, water, and all this. So trauma, deliberate killing and poisoning through vaccination, 35, and then poisoning through the medium of the nature of life, like water, food, air, and all of this shit. Because of all this, I had 3 autoimmune disease, and resolving the energetic blockage, the only way that works sustainably, it's how I explained in this video, throughout this video. And only when I had done this, started to live in this way, where the blockages resolve themselves at some point, fasting truly does miracles. I feel like I am in the ending stages of my regeneration. I'm not fully there. I had 3 autoimmune diseases: psoriasis, ulcerative colitis, and arthritis. So skin, bone, and gut deterioration, falling apart pretty heavily. The heaviest my gut, it was crazy. If you ask me if I wouldn't start all of this, resolving my repression and doing fasting, probably I would get cancer and die. It was so bad. Or my gut would be taken away, cut away, and I would have a bag from my stomach, probably. It was really bad. I had this for 15 years. And just doing the repression, resolving the repression, just like I explained throughout this video, in every video I do, check it out. And me doing then fasting pretty frequently and for longer periods is what saved me. It's what saved me, and is the only thing that truly lastingly works, and it's giving me good results. I'm in the ending stages of regeneration of the body. It's pretty crazy what I have achieved. Actually, not even me. I just fully moved out of the way. And then life itself works the magic. God works the magic. The one that created this body. Body regenerates itself, right? So fasting, do the fasting. It already works by itself. But only when you will start living in this way, where you no more have resistance to life, by being guided by life. When you don't have resistance by being guided to life, resistance being guided by life, when you don't have that resistance anymore, fasting does magic. But even without that, it does a lot. It doesn't do much, like if you resolve the resistance. But without, like with resistance, fasting does something. Without resistance, does magic. And so I would truly suggest fasting for people. Fast as much as possible. There are people that live without food and water, the autonomous people. Check it out, do the research. We don't even need anything. So even if the crisis comes, you just fast. If the crisis comes, I will just not eat anything, that's it. I will not eat for a long time, that's it. Like, we truly don't need a lot. Do the fasting. If you do it now, when you start doing fasting, you start going to a detox. In the beginning, it's the worst, because you are, for the first time, being without food, you are getting used to it, and it's the first time, and you don't know how you will behave and how you will be. So it is best to start fasting now, because when the crisis comes, you will be used to it. and you will be powerful enough and feel safe doing it again, right? Because when you know something, like you're used to it, you know what's come, how you will behave, how much you can take and how much you cannot take, right? Because if you're forced to fast when the crisis come and there are many factors that will burden you, it will be harder for you to face that first fast of your life. So start fasting now. It's great. And there is not much philosophy to it, to be honest. Fast just means don't eat. That's it. There is not much philosophy, truly. You can't fuck up anything, truly. If you go for 1 day without food, 2, 3 days without food, even 5 days without food, this is such a short period of time that you can't fuck up anything, truly. If you don't eat for 3 or 4 days and on the 4th day you go on pizza, you will not even suffer. Then you need some philosophy and techniques, or experience and guidance. If you go on longer fast, for instance, after 15 days or something like this, then it is important how you break a fast. But after 3 days of not eating, it doesn't matter. Just do shorter periods, a few days, day 2, 3, of not eating, just drinking water, and you will be great. You will be fine. Don't overthink it. Being 2 or 3 days without food, it's natural to us, actually. People back in the day when food was scarce, they didn't eat every day or 3 meals a day. They ate, they had something, and then they were on the journey to the next city, maybe, or to some other land for a few days, and they were without food. So it is actually natural to us to be without food and to fast. Just do it. If you have questions about it, I can make a specific video just about fasting, but I already made video about that. You can check it out. I have already mentioned fasting in my previous videos. So facing the resistance of following, being led by life, by God, fasting if you do these two things, I think we will see, but I truly think that this is what will take you through every crisis. It will make you resilient and strong as a character and as a body, as a soul and as a body, where you can be truly unbreakable on all levels of life, holistically, and go through anything. I think this is enough. This is what I'm doing. I don't do any specific treatment. I don't take pills or anything. Sometimes I take a few capsules of magnesium just to not have cramps that I have maybe from time to time in my feet, in one of my foot. Maybe it happens every now and then. This is the only thing that I take. That's it. Some magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate. It's the same. I think it's the same. This is how Eric Berg says it. I always drink water with a pinch of salt. So I have electrolyte, minerals, with a pinch of salt. it is the only way for me to feel hydrated. Just drinking lots of water dehydrates me. I need to put a pinch of salt in my water to feel hydrated. And just having this realization that no matter what you do in life, no matter what you do in this life, either if you are a hero, if you are a hero of this world, or if you are the worst person in this world, literally, there will always be a group of people that will say that you are great or that you are bad in any circumstance. You being a hero, there will be a group that will think that you're great and the group that think that you are the worst. And you being the worst, there are people that will think that actually you are okay being like that, and there will be people that think that you're the worst when you're being worst. Right? So trying to appease, or how do you say, some words come naturally to me and I don't even know what they mean, but they sound familiar. So even if you appease, even if you try to, like, you will never satisfy anybody, or you will never satisfy all of the people, right? So if you can't satisfy, never ever, you can't satisfy anybody, and nor a group of people. And the ones that are on the level, high level, and truly love you, you are already satisfying by just being yourself, sometimes being a hero and sometimes being worse. If it actually don't matter, what are you then waiting for? Whose approval are you waiting for? Whose approval are you waiting for? If those that love you, they already love you, whatever you do, and those that hate you, they already hate you, whatever you do. Whose approval are you waiting for? The only approval now that you should start getting is you validating yourself. You being validated, confirmed by your life's experience, by your life's results. You seeing in your life the good, harmonic consequences of you finally being one with life. Prove to yourself that being one with life brings harmony. I have already done that. Just the same way that I have explained it in this video. I tried the methods that human invented and nothing worked. This is the only thing that works. Only God and life works. Nothing else works. So try this. Come back. Report. I would like to know. And prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself. Allow yourself to be truly tested. Depend on God. Depend on life. So you can finally achieve this validation from God, life itself, from yourself, that you have done it, that you have proven to yourself the power. Your worth. Your spot in heaven, which belongs to you, because you're a child of God. I'm empty. I have nothing more to say. Check out my links down below. You can work with me. Check out my previous videos. I will repeat myself like a cassette until I die. I will try to make it as interesting as possible and provide to you all the proofs that this is the only way that's sustainable and a way of life of least resistance. Can you imagine a life where there is less resistance than you facing through spontaneity? Only in this way you can the resistance to life, right? If you face the whole resistance to allowing being guided by life, if you face that and only through spontaneity you can face that, then you are living a life of least resistance. It's very logical. But life is to be experienced, right? You cannot just repeat what I say and feel good about it. Life is about experience. So start living it. Check out my Instagram also and Facebook. There I post short posts. I have writings there. And many times I make a short summary of this video and add some things there, because maybe sometimes some findings come later after this video. So if you want the full picture, check the video lesson and also the posts, Facebook and Instagram. See you there.